Our class is in session now. All right, so can anybody see my screen?
No, not yet.
Like I said, I'm just going to use the slide I had prepared for last week to just do a quick recap over what we started with my co-mentor last week. So I'm just going to breeze through it very quickly. I'd gone through the recording you've had with him, and just to get me, on the flow, I just want to go through the slides real quick, if you don't mind. Okay, so first things first, my name is Amina Gamaliel. I've been on this journey for the past 3 years. I started from graphic design, and then I transitioned into UIUX. So I just want you to join me on this journey as we explore. I hope that by the end of this class, I would have turned you to an efficient designer where you can kick off your career as soon as possible. Okay, so as a recap, I'm just going to give an overview of what I'm sure you've already gone through last week, so that for those of us that for whatever reason we are unable to get clarity, hopefully this will be able to do that for you. All right. I would like to also state that what we are trying to do for you here is to mentor you and to guide you. The remaining part of this journey is 80% or 90% dependent on what you do with whatever we teach you here. So I would love to urge us all that whenever we have a class like this, go back to YouTube, look for other resources, browse the web, do whatever you can to have a full picture of the concepts that we're going to be teaching you here today. We cannot cover so much in 2 hours, but we'll definitely give you the important information that you need to guide you on this journey. So I would love that whenever we are done with our class, in your free time, go dig more and more information. As we go on, I'm going to be pulling a couple of resources and I'll be sharing it with us so that we can use it for our, our reading and understanding of each of the lessons that we're going to be taking every week. So very quickly, I'm very sure we have an idea what UI UX is. We've learned that UI focuses on the look and feel of a product, and then also making it very appealing for the users to use. And in this context, when we say UI UX, we are referring to digital products. We are referring to our digital product, which is our website, our mobile app. That's what we're talking about in this particular context. The digital products that are available to us all around everywhere. That is what we are focusing on. And then why is this important? We want to do this so that we can help improve user satisfaction. When someone visits a website and they are unable to achieve what took them to their website, it means that the aim of even building the website is defeated. That is what UI UX design is all about, trying to teach you how to design a website, but to design it right, to design it to meet the need company now, and also to meet the need of the user as well, which is sometimes there's a confusion of, okay, what's the difference between UI UX and a product designer? Oh well, as we go a bit further today, I'm going to try to bring out the distinctions for you so that you will know there are a UX person and also a product designer. It's not one thing. You can either be a UI designer or a UX researcher. So it's not the same. I'm going to give you like a brief comparison as we go forward today. Still talking about UI UX. If you look at the image, you just see between UI and UX. If you're going to be a UI person, you're going to need to have of fonts. You're going to have an understanding of how to create a course is about. We're going to learn how to be able to build a wireframe and a prototype. design iterations. You're going to learn about final designs that will be handed to a developer. You're also going to learn about design systems. This particular cohort in UI/UX is giving more emphasis to UI design. But like I have said, we have our videos up on our YouTube channel because before now, we've given more emphasis to UX design. So if you can always refer to the UX, to our YouTube videos so that you can have a feel of both worlds. Because on in this particular cohort, our emphasis would go towards UI design. So if it has been your dream to the right place, if you have been a UX researcher and you've always wanted to gain knowledge of UI design, you're also in the right place. If you already know one or both, you're welcome. All the same. There's no too much education. I hope you'll be able to update what you already know. So for UX, you must know how to understand problems, be able to do research, be able to collect data. So I see some data analysis going on here. So in case you're coming from that field, you're welcome to. So moving on, UX and UI design, which is the whole point of UX is the experience, user experience using this product. Is the person confused? Is the person finding the buttons that they need? Is the person trying to a site and they can easily find it? Is the person feeling frustrated because the buttons he hopes to see for him to his eye range? How is the experience? Is the person finding everything they are looking? How is the person's experience? How is the person feeling? Is the person feeling confused going through this website? Or because he or she is achieving their goal on this website? Then UX design, after you have done your research, then you create prototypes that will help you understand how a user will flow what points to what points, from point A to point B. Less movement without any confusion when a user doesn't know where to go to, because analyze with your prototype how the mover should move from one page to the other, then the aim of that user is prototyping is very, very key. You have to figure out the movement of your user with your digital product that you have created. User flow is when you're creating your prototype. We are going to learn all that as we learn our design, because like I said, most of this is what. So if you want more details on that, go back to our Textilers YouTube channel and just, over the week, you can decide to just go through that and have a feel of what UX is, because this cohort we are focusing now, UI design, how the product interfaces looks and how does it function? What's the look like? Does it look good? Are the colors looking? Have we employed the principles of design in our UI design? All those things make up how any and use a particular digital product. When they come and the color, the fonts are all over the place, and maybe you've used 4 different fonts on one project, things we will look into and more on this particular course. Okay. We want to be able to make products like this. Products like this. We want to build a nice looking interface for our mobile apps. So that is the goal. Particular class. Okay. So I just some career prospects in UI UX design. So we do not. The way it happens in our part of the world, which is some other parts of Africa, is we are yet to fully grasp we are yet to grasp the distinction between these two fields. We just call everything UI UX design. You actually not like that. Either you're one of the two or you're both, but you are allowed to be all. You can be a UI person and a UX person. As I was able to transition from graphic design, it was easy for me to just person and a UI person. Because of my design background, it was easy to just, just merge into being eventually a UI person. In fact, I started from UI before I went back to, so you can be both. And what I noticed because that's the one I understand very well. Sometimes they'll tell you, oh, we need a product description. You would see that they need a UI UX person, and you would see the job description just a UI and a UX, and for the same pay. So this career now very early, it's important for you to be able to know where you want to be, where you want to specialize. Don't let anybody confuse you that, oh, there's something wrong with you. It's just what happens around here. But we are growing every time, like before, where they say they want one thing, but and for the same pay. So if you're able to just carve your path and know, okay, this is where my strength is. Maybe there's some of you that data analysis background, and then you would fit in very well with to becoming a. And if there are some of you here that are coming from a design background like me, you go very well. Sometimes you just mix everything up because it's for being everything in one. But I'm telling you, so let me just break down the ones I have right here. Okay, designer, or you can be a interaction designer. That person that is mostly a UI person that is usually an interaction designer. And what does it make? Maybe, okay, let's say we've gone on Figma and we've designed our web page. Now, do is to make those design more life. Like maybe when he wants the button to wobble a bit to make you feel like they'll have like a bit of a movement so that you can enjoy your experience. Adding some animation here and there, to make you enjoy your experience. So as a UI UX designer, so that's what I'm trying to say. You can be one of these, or if you want to specialize, it's okay. You can decide, okay, I focus on learning how to, animate certain objects on. There are some interesting sites that you visit, especially if it's a gaming company. When you go to a gaming company, almost everything is moving. How many of us play Candy Crush here? That game, you would notice that, okay, virtually everything is just moving, and you're just playing like a game on like a flat surface because of those life, some sort of flesh. If you haven't noticed it on your game before, it out. You see that the game has some sort of movements going on, and before you know it, you have spent 3 hours there. Is one interaction designer that sat down, thought of this concept, and enjoyed playing it, and take it. That his job was to be able to get you really into that game. So to you, and many other things that the interaction designer does, not just what I've mentioned. So please, to learn more, let's go and watch our videos and read more articles about that. I was saying it, if you're coming from the data analysis field, you fit into UX research very well. So they collect the data, they figure out what the user will need, they figure out how the user is going to use it, the user habits, so that they can build the product around their research findings, so that they don't end up building a product that nobody is using. The goal of every digital product to be able to make, let me even say it as it, make money. Is anybody that has a website just for the sake of it. People who have websites out, and the goal is come to my website to come and see the business I'm doing. Plates into money in plain English. That's just what is happening. When I build an app, I want to be able to website. It's because I want my clients, my potential clients, to see me, to reach me, so that we can have some sort of transaction, because I have what you pay me and we are in business. There's a conversion, something has happened between us. So nobody just wakes up to just build a software for the fun of it. So the end game is come and see my business. My business is live. I've launched my website. Go and see, come and see it. But how do I get you to come and see me, see my website, and keep you there? That's what the UI UX designer will ensure. There are some sites that when you visit, you will never return there or anything. A lot of people are making today. People have huge companies and they have apps that are running on Play Store. And when you go under some of these apps, you see the review. Oh, I could not do this. Oh, my OTP. I have not received my OTP up till now. You know, you just see all these complaints. Just shows you that enough into trying to build the software, and so it must, and it will definitely run into problems. So we have a UX writer now. A UX writer is a whole field on his own. Like as a UX writer, like that, or even the design, but you need to be able to come up with words that are going to be used on this website to the user that is going to come and visit that site. They have to think, they have to come up with the best kind of words that when it's like the first word that flashes at them, you know, it keeps them interested. Else further, let me see what's here, let me see what's here. And that, okay, there are sites that you just visit and you want to be out. Find very interesting. Before you know it, you have spent 5 minutes there. I've reached 10. Next thing you know, you are placing order. Means that they did their jobs right. Goes into getting users to come and then get them even coming back for more sites or applications out there. So the person writing has to think of, okay, what is this? These are the words I want this user to see that will keep them interested. Let them want to know what's happening here. And then to the Oga, product designer. At the end, all of us, we are all aspiring to get to a product. A product designer is someone that has all of these skills. All of these skills. Simply put, he has to be able to be a UX writer. He has to be able to do the UI, UX, everything. He has to be able to do that before he can call himself a product designer. Because apart from the user part of the whole thing, a product designer also designs mind. His goal is not only to serve the user now. Every other thing that we have mentioned here is the user is the goal. UIUX design, the user is the goal. Interaction designer, their problem is how will this user interact with this website. The UX researcher too is the user that is the problem. Let me know the pain points of this user so that I can build my product around the pain points of this user. The UX writer, his problem just want to impress the user. But you see, when you transition into becoming a product designer now, the work has become even bigger. You have to be able to be all these things to a degree, to a very reasonable degree. You have to be able to be. So your journey just started. Let's say in the next 3 years, in the next 2 years, some of you already, even in the next 6 months, depending on your speed. But there are people that will dedicate their time because of this first encounter with UI months, they will be product designers. So like I was saying, the product designer is not just worried about the user. He's saying, this my oga wey get company too that is trying to get users. I need to be worried of this company. What is this company trying to achieve? So as he's designing now, he's designing with both the company owner that has a website and the person that will come and use the website. Picture of everything together. No longer about the user. Yes, he's worried about the users, and the users will always be important. He is also worried about the goals of this company. So when he's doing it with the company and the user in mind, a bigger role. So a UI UX designer is not a product designer. My understanding of it, and from a lot of materials in recent past, because that confusion, it has not been resolved. As we're talking, when you go online, you still going on as to, okay, a UI UX designer being a product designer. Me, I'm not a product designer yet. I am a UI UX designer. So I don't even like to call myself product designer because I know I am not. The demand for UI UX, like I told you, these are roles that each on their own are huge roles. If someone, all these very developed, if they are trying to hire you, they won't say welcome as UI UX designer. They'll say, oh yeah, you come in as a UI designer or a UX researcher or an interaction designer or UX writer. They will to one role and tell you, oh, okay, you are all of these people, all of these functions. They won't do that. And when they need a product designer, the one that they know is what they are going to hire. They won't start saying, oh, UI UX designer or UX designer, then they'll expect you to do all of this. These people about what they want so that they can get the exact result that they're looking for. Not to go and bring some designer now and your strengths in UI, what will not happen? Or your strength in UI is strong. So that is why they like to distinguish these things, and there won't be any confusion at all. So hopefully I'm starting to see the improvement happening around us, and hope to differentiate these things. so we don't just clog everything. The most important things from all these particular and design thinking. Design thinking is not a it's not a very, or should be somebody somewhere understand it. You too, you will understand it. Prototype. No, we have other prototyping tools. We have Sketch, Vision. We have, but like my commenter was telling last week, Figma is the most recognized one, and especially because of the many features it has, especially the collaboration. We can all be scattered around the world and be working on one project in real time, and all know how to do some research, user research and testing. Okay, like someone I used to know will say, today you say, oh, I want to be a UX writer. It's still good for you to know, to have a knowledge about this other parts of the career. Like, okay, it might not be like what you want to focus on, but at least if they say, oh yeah, get up and talk to me about what an interaction designer does, you will be able to, might not be your focus, but you'll be able to know, okay, this is what an interaction designer does. To know. So it's not just to say, anything that has nothing to do with UX writer, I'm not doing. Any research person, I'm not doing. No, that will not get you very far in life. So even though you say, okay, I want to do interaction design, you should be able to go to an article that is about UX writing, read it, understand it, because that is just planning to just be in one place. Technology is not waiting. It's not waiting for anybody. The opportunities are not waiting for anybody. The opportunities are there. They keep opening up every day. So imagine you just say, oh, I'm a UX writer and I don't know anything about how to do UX research. And because I love writing, God forbid that. That's not how you're going to think. You have to open up yourself. Open up yourself to just learn it. Learn it before you know it without even realizing it. But the main point I'm trying to make is you must move forward. Imagine I say, oh, okay, because of how much I love graphic design so much, I will not try any other thing. Maybe we are in different countries or something, but that's just what I'm trying to say. So let's go to the next thing. Okay, Figma. You guys already had a feel of Figma last week, and I was listening to your very interesting questions about Figma. And it's like we said, why do we like Figma? Why Figma? Why is it so popular? Real-time collaboration features. Imagine, and this is one of the things that makes remote work like really interesting, because okay, you're in Lagos, Kano. I am currently in Jos Plateau State, and then we have to work on one project. You know, I actually heard a lady make reference to Canva, which is similar. That same collaborative feature that Canva has is what goes on in Figma as well. So if you know how to collaborate on Canva, then this part is not going to be an issue for you. But if you don't know, we will teach you. That's why we're here. And then also the cross-platform accessibility that works on web browser, captivating. Why we like you. Moving on, I'm really trying to rush these slides because we have something else to do. Okay, so yes, last week we had a bit of a tour of the Figma interface, which will be launching very soon because there are a couple of things that I want us to cover before the end of the day. Okay, creating projects in Figma. I saw my commenter take you through everything. Okay, so now we're just going to talk about a few basic design principles about layouts, grid system, white space, and visual hierarchy. Please do well to also read deep into it. The most that we'll be able to do for you in this particular thing is to demonstrate how it is when we start doing our projects together. Then you'll be able to understand most of this design concepts. Okay, another one is typography. There are types. When I say type, I actually mean fonts and font type. So there are different kinds of fonts, and there are combinations that you are never allowed to do when it comes to using fonts in your design. All that we are going to take them one after the other. There are different kinds of fonts here. We have the sans serif, we have the serif, we have ways to place your letters. We have what's known as letter spacing. Sometimes there are design concepts that just gives your design like some sort of that just helps to point out where the reader's eye should go to when they're looking at your website. So through fonts, through colors, and font weights and size and all that, you'll be able to direct your user. Oh yeah, this is where to look, this is where to look, this is where to look. So that's why your fonts can't just be the same size or the same type. We will look into this as we go forward. Okay, color design, color theory, contrast, brand consistency. Okay, look at these companies, for instance. I'm sure some of you, when you maybe see a yellow shirt, and maybe I'm sure most of you, because of how MTN have entered our eye, if you see something yellow, even without the person turning around for you to see the logo, you're probably thinking about MTN just because of how they have entered our eye. That's what they've been able to achieve with their brand colors and consistency. They're everywhere, they're in our face. And that's the power of color. So choosing the right color for the right mood is very, very important. If you look here, you see the red color here stands for popular products that we have been interacting with: YouTube, Netflix, Coca-Cola, Vodafone, and all that. And all these other companies that just pick their colors based on how they want the users to perceive them. So all these concepts we will look into as we attempt to start designing. Okay, and then call the pictures as well. Very important. You are building something. I'm going to be giving us resources where to go and download the best kind of images we are going to be using for our design. It's not you opening an image on your Chrome and maybe saving as image. It's much more than that. There are sites that give free images for you to use, except you must give credit to the authors of these images in your work so that you will not be held responsible for plagiarism or anything. So here's an example of the good quality kind of picture you should use for your design. When you go online and you download a picture and it's looking like the one on the left, you know you're already doing something wrong. Because what are you even seeing right now? You open, somebody comes to your website, they're seeing a blurry image like this. You have started giving them a reason to leave when you use images like this. Then if you look at the other example where there's like a header for a website, if you notice, it's the same website, everything is the same, but the choice of image, they're all talking about money, right? But the use of image here makes the whole difference. Here, the person, for some reason, decided, okay, let me just drop an icon that will show image. Oh, wonderful, good for you. But between the icon and a picture of a lady pressing her phone, and just, trying to relax and get while she punches on her hope, hopefully she's doing some transaction, showing excitement because the image is showing that her life is somehow easier because of this particular product. You know, so it's just it's not just to carry any picture and put and say, okay, after all, this picture is depicting money. No, it has to be more than that. As designers, you are storytellers. You are storytellers. You don't, so that is why there is no easy route for you. There's no easy route for you. You cannot just carry an icon and just hit it on your design and say, after all, it's showing that it's money. Nobody will take you seriously that way. But you see, when you're looking at the first image, you'll probably even be smiling. Probably some of you are smiling now because of how good it looks. Because it's saying more than, oh, this is about money. It's saying, oh, this girl is happy using this product. See how relaxed she is. She's even drinking coffee, you know? You'll be able to pick so many stories from it that will keep you looking at that website until you click on it without knowing. So as a designer, you should be able to think in that direction instead of finding the easy way out, like this second design at the bottom. Okay, so this is the end of this slide. What we've been able to go through. I'm just going to quickly stop sharing and just pick my second slide. We're going to spend more time in the Figma interface. So very soon we'll be headed there. So I'm going to stop sharing this. Can we see my screen? Don't worry, we are not going to be spending a lot of time on this slide because we will be moving to Figma in a bit. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the time. Don't worry. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I'm just going to teach us a few things and then give you a small project, and then we will meet again. Okay. So real quick, let me start the slide. Okay, so this is week 2. This is what we're supposed to do today, understanding user interfaces. We've said a great deal of stuff about what UI is, the visual layer that users interact with in a digital product. That part that you are seeing and it can see you back, which includes elements like buttons, form, menus, and text. Okay. So what's the importance of a good UI? It creates a positive first impression. We all want to make great first impressions when we meet some people, don't we? So it's the same way. The UI designer needs to ensure that the digital product makes a first good impression whenever the user logs on to that particular website. Okay, and then a good UI makes the product easy to use and understand. If your elements, your button is not where it's supposed to be found, if your search button, maybe the person is trying to buy something on your website and you're running an e-commerce website. The person comes on your website, they don't know how to search for what to buy. It means you are not selling that day. Aim is defeated. It also increases user satisfaction and engagement. That is why you are here. That is why you're here today, so that you'll be able to figure out how to build great experiences for users. Okay, so if you look at these examples, we just have like some good UI designs here and there, some bad UI designs here and there, and I'm just going to talk about a few and then we'll move on. Okay, so these are exactly the same interfaces, but if you look at it, the contrast on this one, can you all see my pointer? It has like a red, there's a red pointer that I'm trying to use. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so if you look at this one here, there's no contrast. We are not even, because who can even see the purple? Some of us, our eye is not even working, so we'll probably not even see that there's like a icon, a purple icon inside this circle. That's the first bad thing. And then if you look at also these icons here that is supposed to show phone number and bank account, it's as though nothing is going on there. The color combo is just really wrong. But looking at the one on your right, you would see that you could see everything, and the use of the purple helps to highlight all the important information that needs to be seen. Now to the second example, we have an issue of font use mostly on the second example, because if you look at the topmost corner, there's no distinction between the name of the owner of the account and also trying to and the welcome home statement. Everything is just in your face. It's almost like, hey, like it's his name. Hey, I don't know, is it Chowbo or something? Welcome home. Maybe it will look like that's the complete name. But you see, on this other side, it's showing, oh, okay, this must be the name of the guy and welcome home. They just welcome you to the home screen of this particular app. And then also when you go through the song, the font size of the new song and the all is the same. It's not showing which one is more important. Okay, if I want to see new song, like everything is just in my face. Where do I click? Where do I go to? What page am I on? Because the idea is, okay, it's showing me thumbnails for new songs, but it's also confusing me by telling me all. So that could confuse the user. That could confuse the user. But you see, on this one, it's showing, okay, you're on this page, and what is showing here is that these are new songs that are under here. So maybe, okay, I'm not here to see the new song. When I move my my eye to the other corner, I'm going to see all. Then I can probably just click on that to review all the songs for me. But hardly, you know, most times when people visit music sites, they're not there to look for old songs. They're there to look for new songs. They're just, okay, sometimes, oh, once in a while, where a person would say, oh, I haven't heard this song in a while. Let me go back and go and look for this song. And then they'll come, and instead of going through whether it's a new song or all, of course, the person is going to come here to the top and search. Okay, so this is a really good app with, you know, that just gives you options as to where you should go to, as not as confusing as the first one. And then if you also look at the names of the songs, you are giving name of song, go right under it, you wrote 26 songs. It now looks like a continuation. So I want you to take note of this, because people are designing your first app page today. After this class, you will do it on your own. You will submit it to the channel. Okay, part of your assessment, very important. So take note of this, the way the fonts are being used here. If you want to show a different information, you need to contrast that information the way it is here. The name of the song is properly contrasted against the number of songs that is under it, as well as how many weeks ago the song was released. So it's properly contrasted, showing, oh, okay, this is the name of the song. Oh, okay, there are 26 songs in this category, and then it was dropped 13 weeks ago. So there's a contrast there. But here it just looks like that is the name of the song, and maybe 26 songs is his surname. And it just doesn't show any difference. There's no contrast in any way. It just confuses the person using it. The same way here, the title of the song and the artists. Here, say, hear me now, Alok/Ziba. It looks like it's still part of the title. On this particular example here, it looks like it's part of the title. But on the other one, because of the contrast, you're able to tell, oh, okay, the name of the song is Hear Me Now, and the name of the artist is this. So take note of the small things as we go forward. Okay, now principles of effective design. I'm going to be launching my Figma very soon. I hope we've all been able to create our account, create our Figma account by now. However, I would love that you pay attention to the design, and I'll give you room to ask all the questions that are bothering you at the end of this class. Any confusion, anything. If we have to take it outside this lesson, we'll do that. But I would love for you to pay attention. You ask all the questions after, so that even when you're watching the video is going to go seamless for you without so much interruption when you are trying to go back to learn it, in case you miss something here. So principal effectives of UI design, you must take note of consistency. When you start using one color or when you start using one particular font type, you don't at the middle of your project say, I've changed my mind. Oh, it's like, is this font that is final? Then you will now switch into that one. Or you start with one color, then another color just drops in your mind. Remember, you have to be intentional about your color. You have to be intentional because of the brand that you are creating the website for or the app for. You can't say, but green is my favorite color now. And maybe you are building an app for, let's say, a boutique. And you now say, but green is my favorite color now. Let me do, and yellow, I used to like yellow when I was small. Then you will now decide that, in fact, the color of this boutique now is green and yellow. And you now go with that one. No. That's where your research comes in. When you're doing your research and everything, and you are also putting in mind the brand colors of this company. You want to design something for MTN, you now say, even the MTN is yellow, you are feeling red. Then you now put that one. That's the consistency of design elements. Everything has to be uniform. Everything has to go accordingly. If the brand color is blue, you will do blue till you finish. Then feedback. Provide users with feedback on their action. Okay, let's say for instance, I'm trying to use like a Bolt app, for instance, and I have I've booked my ride, and I'm just looking at my screen, and there is no way on the screen that is telling me that my booking has been successful, and I'm just looking at the app, and I don't know whether the booking has been successful. Or let me even use banking, and that one I know we go enter banking app. I do a transaction, and there's no screen to tell me whether my transaction is successful. I don't need to tell you how confused you're going to be because of your money. Some of you panic. BP will go up because you can't see anything and you start panicking. Oh my God, did this transaction go? Oh, hope I did not send it to the wrong person. Oh, and then the confusion begins. So when somebody builds a UI and doesn't make room for actions for users to know, okay, I've sent an email, and then there's nothing to show that the email has been sent. You will not leave that place now. You'll be looking. You're not going to leave that place because you'll be wondering, okay, is it even successful or not? It gives room for the confusion that we're trying to avoid. Simplicity, you keep it simple, you keep it clean, uncluttered. How many of us have visited Apple website before? If we haven't, we should do that after this class. Go to apple.com. That's the most uncluttered website I've ever seen. And they are making the most money in their gadgets. If you go to that site, everything is straight to the point though. They are not trying to prove anything to anybody. It's the most simplest website, making one of the most successful companies in the world today. And them, they are not shouting. It's the ones that we don't know what they are doing. You go and see everything on top. So simplicity, very important as you begin this journey. Keep it simple. Do not put too many things. Do not put unnecessary action. Any action that is not needed, remove it from the interface to keep that place clean. Go and check apple.com when you are done with it to see what I'm trying to say on this particular thing. Visibility. Ensure elements are easily seen. Like I said before, I'm looking for submit button. I finished complaining. I've complained that, this has happened to me, maybe to a transaction or something. I cannot see where to click submit. I cannot find it. Oh, you are running an e-commerce website. You say, maybe I saw you on Facebook, you said you have this, you drop your website, I came. I'm looking for the black trouser you displayed on your Facebook page. I cannot find it because you have not put features on your website, maybe such as filtering your products and sorting it so that I can easily just go to a place and just reel in on a particular product I want. Instead, you will just come, you just jump pack all the picture. I have to be scrolling for minutes to get to the one cloth that I'm looking for. That is bad experience for a user. Accessibility, very important in today's world. The world is all about inclusion now. We're including everything. And according to the United Nations, every human being has the right to information. So when you build your website and it excludes people, it does not include everybody. You will not say, after all, people with disabilities, they are not part of my customer base. And then you do that without them in mind, it's going to land you in trouble in certain cases. Let me give you one case in point. Let's say you are applying for a grant that will come through a United Nations agency, and you know that around us here in Nigeria, that's what surrounds us. You see almost all NGOs are affiliated to UN somehow. And most of these NGOs and even the embassy and everywhere, they are the ones that like to give certain grants for businesses, for women, for startup and all that. Now, when you have a website and they will tell you, okay, part of the criteria is your website. Let's see that this thing that you are doing is genuine. And part of how we will know it's genuine is when you submit your social media handles and your website URL. Now, when these people go to your website and your website does not meet the requirement where it includes people with disability, especially, that's the end. That's the end of the road for your grant application. That's the end of the road for your grant application. So it might not be a thing for us here because maybe nobody is really checking for that. But I'm telling you that this is the new way for building websites now today. So as you are designing, you have to put in account people with disabilities. How can they use my website? We're going to go a bit into it as we proceed into this class. Okay, so we're going to explore Figma in a bit. We'll just look at some of these features. We're going to see how to. I've seen you people go through. I've seen my commenter teach you about shapes, text, images. Okay, so I think I'm going to focus more on teaching you how to layer and group elements, and then utilizing grids and guides for alignments. Then I'll quickly, teach you components in Figma, how to use components, why are we using components, and how it's going to make your work much, much, much seamless when you start using Figma fully. Components are one of the most important things you will learn in Figma that is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of energy as you work on your projects in Figma. So I'm going to design some buttons here and there. The form, I'm going to let you do that, and then we'll just see how we can use components for our styles, for our consistency and efficiency. More importantly, we're going to look a bit into organizing design assets in Figma libraries, and this is what we will design. Oh, more like what you will design when we are through with our Figma lessons today. You are going to be designing this as your example. Don't worry about the colors around. Just this white space and everything that is in it is all you will be designing. And if somebody is shouting, don't shout. Let's go into Figma. When we come back, I'm sure you feel more confident about designing this. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen again so that I can navigate to my Figma screen. I'm going to figma.com. Do we all have our Figma account? Let me see the response. Leave a response for me in the chats. Do we all have our Figma account? How many of us don't have our Figma account yet? If you have your Figma account, give me a thumbs up in the reaction. If you have your Figma account, let me see your reaction. Let me see a thumbs up. Okay, great. Great. Still waiting for more thumbs up. Great. Still waiting. Still can't see a reaction from people. If you do not have your Figma account, let's know. Let's create one quickly. We do not have time. We're almost out of time. So I want to know how many of us have our Figma account so that we can proceed. Last week, there was a lesson on how to create Figma account. So, all right, great. So I'm just going to launch into my Figma account and just give us like another review. I know we've gotten some introduction last week on the interface. So I'll just go over it again just to clear some confusion or anything. And then we'll just face these things that I've said we'll be doing today so that we will be able to build this form that I just showed you. So let me go to figma.com and share my screen with you. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Can we see my screen? Last week you created your account, logged into your Figma account. So I'm going to log into mine, and it's advisable to, open your account with your Figma account with your Google. Just makes it easier for me. I don't know about you, makes it easier for me to just log back in at any point and carry on. Okay. And it also helps with the password problem. Those of us that are always changing password. Changing password is not necessarily a bad thing. If you ask a cyber security person, they will tell you it's good for you to change your password all the time. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. I've done a couple of things here before. This is my free account because there's a paid account. This is my free account. So I will just navigate to a new project. I'm going to navigate to a new project so that I can show you. I think I entered my wrong account. I have like a teaching account. Okay. I have a teaching account. Opened your account before. Figma.com is the URL. So this gets started. I don't even mind getting started again just for the sake of this class. Started free. I'm going to sign up again on this particular browser for the sake of this class. Okay, so now, instead of what I was trying to say earlier, instead of, let me give my email, let me give my password, I just prefer to say, okay, continue with Google. So it just takes me in since I'm already logged into my Google account from here. Okay, so I'm waiting. Doesn't take long. Doesn't take long, and you're already in. I allow the cookies to do their thing. Okay. I hope I didn't cancel this action. I did. Okay, Figma is opening.
I think we might be looking at another screen.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Let me check. Let me see what you're looking at. Let me see what you are looking at. Let me be sure. So you're not seeing me on Figma right now?
You're currently on Figma, but it wasn't the one that went through logging with your Google account and all of those bits. We're just seeing the one.
Okay.
The one with 3 tabs.
Sorry. Oh, okay. You're right. I didn't switch it. Let me do that. Let me do that. Yes, I think this is the screen I want. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, the one with the yellow line above. Yes.
Yes. Thank you for that. Okay, so let me go to a new project quickly. Okay, so I'm using a black background. All right, so I don't know. Yeah, I think this is fine. All right, so I'm using a black background. I don't know which one will be more visible. Do I change it? Or can you see this very well? Because I noticed the last mentor was using his white background. So which is something you can just do on your own. Sometimes we do it so we don't have too much light in our eyes and all that. And then other times, we just want it to be easy on the eye. I'm looking at, okay, sorry. Let me just go back to, all right, so I just want to teach you a few things here. Can you see the black background well? If you're not seeing the black background well, let me know. All right, so my last, my co-mentor, I saw him go through the interfaces with you guys and all that. And I'm going to be picking a few of the elements from that form that we're going to be designing. If we look at the form, we'll notice, or I'm just going to talk about the form because to flip back now. Okay, maybe I should have shared my window because I want to be able to go back and forth. Sorry again, let me stop this. Let me share my window with you guys so that I can just my screen rather. I can just flip back and forth. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen and we're seeing that I'm on Figma, right? All right, good. So I want to be able to go back and forth on, I want to be able to see this. This is, okay. So if you look at this form, everything is just made from little parts of the shapes that you were shown, the few elements that you were shown in your last class, but we're going to just go over it again. If you notice, our first element here is our text element that he pointed out the last time. This is our text element. That's just all that is here. And if you notice, there's like a little dot here, which is your ellipse, your circle element, right? We have another text here. We have another text. Then we have a line element. We have another text, line element, another text, line element, another text, line element. And then we have like a little box here, which is in our shapes, right under our shapes too. Another text element right under it. We have like an icon here. This is an icon, this eye icon. There are icon plugins that come on Figma. I'll show you how to access that so that you can look for a similar icon and use it. This is our button here, which is just made of another shape that is available to us in our shapes tool and another text. So if you look at it, this is pretty much something you can do even if I give you 10 minutes right now to just do it and submit, but I will let you take your time so that your creative juices will be flowing as you are doing it. So this is just a simple form, which is a create account form. So imagine you're able to just do this. It means, okay, when it comes to your login, sign up page and all that, you're good to go. So let me flip back to my Figma file. Okay, I'm back on my Figma. Hope we can see it. Looking at our shape tools, everything that I just mentioned, this is our rectangle tool. Our rectangle tool is here. We can make our rectangle tool. I'm going to tell you a trick. If you want to make a perfect square, when you drag your rectangle this way, make sure you are holding on your shift button. See? Okay, this is me dragging this, right? Now I'm going to punch on my shift button and then it becomes a perfect square. So while dragging and holding on shift, you get a perfect square this way. Same thing if you decide, oh, I want to do a circle. This is me holding on to my circle, just going, just moving around and all that. If I want a perfect circle, I'm going to hold on shift to give me a perfect circle. Now, it's not every time we're going to need a perfect circle. Okay? There are instances we do not want the circle to be perfect. There are instances we want the circle to be perfect. Same with our square guy here. It's not every time we want him to be a perfect square. Say for instance, I want a rectangle, maybe because I want to create a button. Of course, I just hold my arrow key and move it to the size of the button that I want. And then we have our line tool. Remember the many lines we're going to be using on our design. Just hold, you drag. Now, if you're dragging, it will be doing as if it does not want to be straight. Same rule applies. Hold shift, and then you're going to get your straight, perfect horizontal line. Arrow. Oh well, if you decide you want to include an arrow in your design, why not? Also, we have like our image. When you click on that, it's going to ask you, okay, which image do you want me to use? Maybe you want to bring image into your design. We're not doing that now. So you see, because I said, okay, I want to bring in an image, when I just release it on the screen, see, it has even taken over everything because it's a high quality image. So I'm just going to undo that. And then what else haven't we? Our polygon, our star, and all that. We can bring them into our middle pane. Remember, our property inspection pane is to the right. Our layers, assets to the left. So, and if you look, another important thing that I want to teach us again today, first and foremost, is what is known as layering. Just like your hamburger, where you put your lettuce, your tomatoes, your cheese, your bun, and then you cover it. That's how layering works. If you're here and you've worked with Photoshop before, you're going to understand layering very well. And even Canva has layering as well. So, but I'm just going to take my time and teach you what layering is, so that maybe when you're designing, because that confusion will come a lot. You're trying to design something and you'll see that when you check your layer, you're seeing the design is there. But when you look at your screen, you cannot find it. And sometimes that happens because you've carried something to cover the design. Let me show you an example. I'm going to just declutter this space with my, so this, let me just declutter this and start like a whole other example. Now, let me show you something. Let me bring this rectangle now, and I just decide to just draw a rectangle. I want to change the color of this rectangle so that we can differentiate what we're, okay, now we have a red rectangle, square, sorry, a red square. Now is a rectangle, back to square. Okay, now it's right here. And then I want to do like a circle in the middle. I can just draw my circle out here first. When I draw the circle first and I want it to be part of this design, then I will drop it here in the middle. Now, when you look at my layer, it's showing me my circle is on top, right? Let me add another thing so that we can fully grasp this concept, because if you understand layering, you have solved like a big part of the problem. Okay, so I'm just going to use this star to just make another shape here, and I'm going to give it a different color. Remember, if our star is all wobbly, what do? We press on shift, we get our perfect star. So I'm going to give like a different color and put it on. Oh, it's starting to look like a map of somewhere. I don't know. All right. So if you look at our layer, I'm going to teach you two important things about layering. First, you must learn how to rename your layers. At this stage now, if you can just get used to renaming your layer, the sky will be your limit, because you know what? A time will come where the screen, project will full the screen. You will not know what is what. Now we just have 3 elements showing on our layer, right? So imagine a whole project, a whole other project where the layers are just stacked up on each other, and okay, you want to make a correction on something and you have to start going through all the layers, and you're finding it hard to distinguish it. Okay, so now to rename your layer now, Shebi, we took rectangle 2 and we put it here, so it's displaying the name, the original name, which is the rectangle, is displaying the name. Say for instance now, I want to do another rectangle. Sorry, let me go to my shape tool and I pick rectangle. Let me do another rectangle like this now. Let me change the color to like, let's say purple. Oh no, I want something you'll be able to see. let's do like a orange or yellow, and then and I want to keep it here. If you look at it, it's showing rectangle 1, rectangle 2. Brothers and sisters, you cannot do a project with your elements calling themselves rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3, rectangle 4. Ha! I'm sure you can already imagine the confusion. Then, because when I do another ellipse now, it's going to say ellipse 2. If I do another star, it will say star 2. So imagine you have built a complete project, and that is what you're seeing all over the place, because there is no tool on this whole Figma you are going to use repeatedly more than your shape tool. Everything you're going to build is going to come from a shape, especially this rectangle is the most used in the whole in all projects across the world. Rectangle, you use it to do your button, you use it to this one, you use it to do that one. So you're going to see a lot of rectangles. So imagine rectangle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 20 to 100, depending on how big the project is. So that's why renaming your layer is very, very important. I'm taking time. I'll make sure this class will not pass what I am thinking. Okay, all right, rectangle. Now let's rename our layer, please. Let's not do rectangle 1, let's not do rectangle 2. So now when you click on the layer and you right click on it, it will give you an option here to rename. We will rather say red square. You know, it's calling everything, even though I've changed it to square, it's still calling it rectangle. So now, to be specific, to be able to know where all your things are, rename it immediately. Don't allow the project to full, don't allow everything to fill your screen before you start trying to name. As you are drawing something, I know it will feel like, oh, it's taking your time, but believe me, it will save you in the long run. So we'll rather just say red square. It's not easy for everybody. Don't forget, when you become a professional, you are collaborating with UIUX people all over the world. So you're going to have to keep the project in a way that the other guy that is working with you from the other place is seeing it and is not confused and is not wondering, oh yeah, what is happening in this project? The person cannot identify a particular rectangle because you decided that, oh, let us do rectangle 1, rectangle 2. The person working with you too should be able to enjoy collaborating with you. Don't make your work clumsy so that the person collaborating with you will find it difficult. You will now come and rename all your elements. Circle, now I say ellipse. If I bring another, I say ellipse 2. So let me say oh my god, what color did I just use? Circle. What's the color? What's this color? Better than a beige. I've been waiting. Let me change it. I don't know this color. Let me not lie. Next time, choose simple colors. Let me see. What awful color? This is bad, but that is not the point. Besides the point. Now we can say blue circle. I don't even know this. Yeah, blue sort of blue circle. Let's just rename these guys. The earlier, the better. First rule. First important rule. Renaming. Rename your layers. Star. Anyway, you get the point. You can do green star. You know, just to be specific. Just to be specific. So that you can enjoy your work. So that you are not confusing yourself doing the work that you are supposed to do. So you just rename your layers. Now, in the spirit of what I've done here, I want you to see how this is. If you look here, this is our layer, and this layer, we can move it from one point to the other. Assuming this star is not the star of the show and we don't want it in front, or yes, we don't want this star in front, we prefer the circle to be inside. We can, let's say, okay, sorry, let me press on shift because let me undo that. Let me just make this so that I can teach you the next thing I want to teach you, which is called grouping. Grouping, you want to group your elements together. Let's say this is like, okay, let's say this is a flag of one fictional country. Let me undo this second rectangle here. This is like maybe a fictional flag for somewhere, and this is how, and we've stacked it this way, right? And if you look at it, it's showing green star on top, blue circle in the middle, red square at the bottom. And when we look at it, that is how our layer has been stacked. Remember our burger. Now, let's say, the blue circle is supposed to come on top. It means that I have to move my blue circle layer. I will move it. If you hold it, you'll see this white line that will come up. This white line will come up. You can just pull it up. Notice what has happened? We have rearranged our stack. So there are going to be many situations, maybe when you are designing and you'll be looking for something, you think that the thing is missing in the design. Maybe, okay, let me bring back another circle. Let's say there's a dot that's supposed to be somewhere. Shift, perfect dot. There's a dot that's supposed to be in the middle, for instance. Yeah. Now you see the dot goes on top. That's the first one, is ellipse 1. We are not supposed to call it that, supposed to call it whatever circle, but you get the point, hopefully. Any confusion will clear it at the end of this class. Okay? So if I decide that, okay, is the red square that I want to give priority to, that I want my users to see, I hold it and I move it up. So there'll be situations that this can happen where you're designing your elements and you design something else that will now cover it. And when you go to your layers here, you are seeing that it's here, or maybe I'm looking for this small dot that I put here. And I'm clicking on it, but I can't see it on my canvas. It's because of the rearrangement of my stack. It means I need to find it. I need to find my circle and bring it to the top. See, we have this one now. At least we have seen this one now. But maybe for some reason we say, okay, we still want, and I know I drew a star. Me, I remember I drew a green star, but I can't find my green star. It's the way your burger is stacked. Just always remember your burger when you are looking for something in your layers. And try to ask yourself whether you went to heat like the tomato under the bun, you took the cheese under the lettuce. That's how layering works. It's the same way in Photoshop, it's the same way in Canva, it's the same way in Adobe Illustrator. So you can, if you're wondering where your layer is, just know something is sitting on it. Then you can go and restack. Let me try to get back to how it was. Remember, our red square is down. I'll bring it down. And I want my green to be on top of the blue. And you see, we're seeing everything. Because a design is not supposed to hide anything under. So if for some reason you get into that confusion, this is how you find your layer. Okay? Now, quickly, let me move to grouping so that we can just finish that and go into components. I have like barely 3 minutes. Okay, so now for grouping, let's say my flag is done. And let's say I want to duplicate the flag. I want to have 2 of it. And I come, I'm like, okay, say they said Control D is duplicate. Then I click this. If you click this and you do Control D is short for duplication on your Windows, and Command D on your MacBook. Take note of some of those shortcuts. When I come and I'm like, okay, Control D, I've only duplicated the red box. And you'll be wondering, why is everything not working? Shebi, I highlighted everything. Why is it that only this one is the one that is showing? And you start to enter panic mode and want to give up on being a designer. Please don't do that. Just let me teach you how to do that. If you want to be able to group everything together, I want you to hold your mouse over all the elements together. You see, as you're picking it, look at your layer panel. Look at what's happening on your layer panel. Just pay attention to that part. This layer panel, it will help you. It will remove you from confusion. I promise you, because all these things, it's happened to me. As you're trying to capture everything, it will show you you've selected it. everything here is selected, right? So you can right click now on your cursor or on your laptop. You're going to see an option where it says group selection, or shortcut for it, Ctrl G. That's the shortcut for it, Ctrl G, both on your Windows and on your MacBook. You group the selection. Now everything is together. So when I come and I say Ctrl D to duplicate, it has duplicated it. All I need to do is to click on it and drag it away. Now you have duplicated everything together. So that's it for grouping. So real quick, let me do something. Let me teach you how to create a component, why you need to have a component. Our time is over. Why you need to have a component and what it's going to do for you. Let me create a button, for instance. Let me create a button. Let me remove this ugly images now. Let's say quickly I want to create a button. To create a button, I'm going to go in with my rectangle shape. So I'm going to, just draw my rectangle shape to create a button. I'm going to come to my fill here and pick the color that I want. Now let me pick something you can see. Nope. I think this is okay. Let me pick something you can see. I want to create a button. And I'm going to go to my text tool now, which is this guy over here. I'm going to, you can type straight up inside your button, or you can type outside and bring it in. Doesn't matter. I just like to type outside. So I'm clicking on you can just type right in your button. So I'm going to write a submit, or like submit. Oh, let me give you expo. Create accounts from your project that you are going to submit to me. Create an account. Here's to create account rather. See what UX writer will do. Maybe when I say create an account, I say no, create account. The UX writer will give you all the reasons why. Are you kidding me? Is that how spell account? Why am I confused right now? It's account one CEO. It's looking create account. Somebody should help me. It's happening to me. Okay, create account. No, this is not account. It's not account at all. It's looking too small. Then this one is looking too plenty. All right, so create account. Let me make it a bit bold. When you click on it, for you to see the when you click on it, when you click on the account name, to be able to get the properties so that you can do all the decor that you need to do. I want my account name. I want the font to be a bit bigger, so I'm going to 12 to 14. Then I also don't want it to be regular. I want it to be semi-bold. Yes, and then I have this button right here. Okay, this looks okay. If I like to make it look like a typical button, I can click on my square and then come to my corner radius, which is this feature here, and play with it. If you notice, my corners are no longer very sharp anymore. My button is becoming a typical button. You could play with this, where you play with your radius here. Notice this part. You can change it back to your regular sharp edge when you put it at 0. But if you want to get this circular feature, put it at 30 just to curve those edges a bit. It can go further than this, but standard 30 is fine, depending on the size of the button you're making. Now, what a component does is this. Let me duplicate this. Let me duplicate this and show you how a component works in Figma. I'm using duplicates for Photoshop. So my layer is showing. Sorry. Let me undo that. Okay. I just taught you how to group, but I decided not to group my own. Okay, so I'm going to group the selection. I'm grouping the selection. So I have my button here. Now I want to duplicate this button. So I'm going to do Ctrl D. My layer is showing me I have group 1 and group 2 which means I have succeeded. Remember, this is my button. Now I can decide, okay, this group, when I want to, when you double click on it, you can rename it. So I'm just going to call it button in the spirit of renaming. Button 1. What's happening to my spelling today? Button 1. In fact, we just need one button for now, okay? But this is like my primary button that I have called button 1. Now, we have, imagine we have built an interface. I want to use mobile app because better website safe. If you want to make changes on a website, it's not as hectic as you would say you want to make changes on your prototype for your mobile app, because you would see that one app, you're going to design 58 screens for it. But when you are building for a website, the landing page, all the pages, if it's plenty, it will not pass 10. It will not pass 10 on your web. But mobile app, you will see yourself building 58 screens to 70 screens for one app. So imagine you have 70 something screens and you have used this button on like 30. Then the client will come and say, Neo, this is your color. I changed my mind after your normal briefings, because there's design iteration, where you check the design, you make adjustments. If it doesn't meet the stakeholders' requirements, you have to make changes. There's always back and forth in design. You can never get a design perfect the first time. So there will be a lot of iterations. So when that happens and the guy is like, it's your green, I don't even want it, I'm not feeling it. Also, I don't even want my button to be rounded. I want it to be square. I have already used this one in like 30 screens. I don't want to even tell you the worst about that. Let me just show you what will save you, because it is not small work. So if he says, change the color, that means I have to come green. I'll say, okay, he says it's not green he wants. Then I will now look for the color that he wants. It's yellow he wants, for instance. You see, I'm changing this one. And then he say, sorry, yeah, he said he doesn't want rounded button. I come here, I click 0, and it's back to the regular shape. I have to still come here again and still do the same thing. Change the color. This is known as a colored picker. If you don't, let's say I want to repeat the color here, I can just use this, come here, and I'll pick the color, and it will give me the color. Or if you look down here, you see, okay, Figma is kind enough to store the colors that you have recently used. So you can just pick it from there instead of wondering, I forgot the color code and all that, and you're wondering, and you are trying to figure out where the color code is. Figma has been kind enough to just say, okay, since this person has just used this color, let me leave it for her here in case she will still come back and use it. Or you can just go to the neighbor, the other button in the other page, and pick the color and do it. And now we want to change our square back to our rounded corners back to a perfect edge, and then this. See, it took me, how many seconds did it take me to do this just now? So imagine I'm doing it for 30 buttons. I've wasted not only my time, I've wasted everybody's time, the stakeholder, everybody that is involved in the project. I've wasted all of our time. So Figma figured out, what do we do? Let's do this. One of the strongest thing that Figma has, and why it is world best, is because of its ability to do version control. What do I mean by version control? It makes it easy for you to move from version 1 to version 2, back to version 3, back to version 4, because that is how design is. You must iterate. There must be changes. There must be changes. People won't always go with your first design. They won't even go with your second design. They won't go with your third design. That's what it takes. It takes processes. Takes reinventing the idea, tweaking the idea, whatever you need to do until you get what you need. So that's what happens in design. So you can't keep changing, rechanging, coming, do 30 times. Imagine when you now do this 30 times, you know, I'm like, you know what? It's like that green, I prefer it. You are going back to this journey 30 more times. If one stakeholder that is a senior oga that was not present in that first meeting and he decides to come back and say, I'm not even feeling both colors. Let's go with blue. You are going to go through that journey 30 more times. That's how many? 90 times. Some of you, I know, you just quit. You quit the UIUX. You say, let me just go and fry akara because this tax, I'm not happy about it. So now what component does for you is this. When you click on this, if you look at the middle of your toolbar, we have this diamond-shaped guy. When you hover over it, it's telling you to create component. And what are you going to do with this component? It's going to be a reusable element for us. And let me show you that in action real quick. Now, either you click on create components or you click you do your short code for Control-Alt-K, and then you have turned it to a component. So I'm just going to click on the diamond here. See, it's telling me got it. Now you have a component. That's what it's telling me now. I've created a component. So this guy, not so important to me anymore. And let me tell you why. Let me delete this guy. We don't need it anymore. We just wanted one component. Now we have created one component, right? And I've gotten my project to another page, and I need to use, because we said we need to keep our design consistent rather. So I cannot go and start trying to create a brand new button for the next page that I want to use it, because the idea of the consistency is for everything to be exactly the same. Measurements, everything, font size, everything is supposed to be exactly the same. And you cannot always get it right, even if you try to redesign it again. So what component does this? Okay, Shebi, I've created this one and I've said is a component, right? Okay, now I want to use it in a project. Then I will now do Control D. When I do my Control D, see, my layer is showing me this is my second button. Now, if you look at the layer itself, the one with the diamond is the original component that I created. Now, if you look at the second button, it's showing you the diamond like an empty box, right? Now, that one is what we refer to as an instance in Figma. You have a component, you have an instance, and that instance is just like the child of the parents. This one, the diamond one, gave birth to the empty diamond one. So you can have many children across your project. Let's duplicate it again. Let me do Control D again. Now I have 3. So I have 2 instances and 1 parent. So button 1 showing the diamond is my main copy. Now, if you look at each of these buttons on your layer, right beside it, there is a rectangle. When you click on it, it's just trying to show you, you remember, our button is made up of what? A rectangle and a text. So don't get confused when you mistakenly open this and you're wondering, where did this come from? Where did this come from? No. All these rectangles here, all these buttons here, they are made up of our rectangle and our create account text. So this is just storing, this is the information just stored in the group. You know, when we made it first, don't forget, we turned it into a group. When you turn something into a group, it automatically creates these arrows that are beside it. So don't get confused if for some reason you click on it and you are seeing these things inside and you're wondering, hey, where did it come from? No, it's because it is a group that you created, and it is that group that gave birth to, that made this button look like a button in the first place. Now back to components. On components, this is the dad, right? The guy with the complete diamond. And if Oga said, oh, me, I don't want this color. Now, what do? We'll come to the parents here and say, oh, okay, he doesn't want the color. Imagine the 90 times scenario I gave you, and there are 90 buttons, or okay, 30 buttons on a project that I gave you, the scenario, and these buttons are all over this project. Now, instead of me to go and do this trip 30 times, I'm going to come here. Are you seeing what's happening? I'm changing the color of the parents. I'm changing the color of the parents and all the instances. So if I change that one guy, all my buttons that I put all over my project that appear 30 times will automatically have one quick edit. And that's the joy of using Figma, so that you are not spending forever on one project. This helps efficiency. It helps efficiency. It helps you move from one version to the other. And that's the version control part of it, without breaking your bone. If we decide, oh, okay, let's, Oga Chairman comes, oh, okay, I want it to be circular. We're going to go back to our radius, our corner radius that is just right here. All this is under design. Is prototype. If you notice, we haven't touched on prototype today, which we will get to. Everything we have been doing is on the properties pane, where all our description is. When if I'm not clicking on anything, it's not going to display the property for me. But the moment I click on this, it reveals the property, meaning any change I can make from this button, from everything that it has revealed here to me, it's saying I can make changes. It's even showing us that, oh, button 1 is a component, because you see that diamond, it has still followed it here. And then let me make that change from the radius corner. When you just click on it, click on your 0, type in the number you want. Remember, we used 30 earlier. And then, okay, it's not working. I don't know. Okay, sorry. Let's see. No. Oh, sorry. I unclicked this click content. Click this click content. I'm going to explain what this click content is. But if yours is not enabled, for the sake of this class, enable it now. In the next class, our time is oh, okay. I think I've been looking at my time wrongly. No, I haven't. Yes, our time is almost over. I'm going to explain what the clip content does in our next class. But for now, we understand what a component is and what instances are. We can only have one component and a gazillion instances, depending on how massive your project is. There's what we call variants also. It comes under components, but we are going to look at that in a later class. So I hope you have learned something today. If there's any confusion, let's use the remaining few minutes to address that. Question time. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions you have, floor is open. Remember our assignment. Let me drop it. I'm going to drop it on the channel. I can even drop it on the chat right now so that you can go and design your lovely, lovely form for me, so that I can see. I cannot wait to see your project. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do. In the next class, we'll do more design. I'll explain more features that are on Figma, so that we'll start embarking on bigger projects. So let me attach this. Let me see if I can drop the image here. Let me show you the image one more time before I drop it for you. I'm going to drop it on the channel. You can access it from the channel. Yeah, I didn't really do so much on my slide. I don't know if you're going to need it. My slide was kind of brief because I prefer to talk more. So I don't know if you still need the slide. You can indicate in the chat. I'm going to drop that for you also on the channel to access. And then finally, let's take one more look at our assignment. This is what we are going to be building. I am more than convinced that what we have done today you will be able to seamlessly build this form. Remember, there's also a rule. Do not use more than 2 font type on one design. Do not use more than 2 font types. If you find yourself using more than 2 font types, you are headed in the wrong direction. Your font types shouldn't pass 2 that you will use. So, and then try to, go on Pinterest, Behance, see what people have designed before, and then have a sense of, the kind of font you should use. Remember, keeping it simple, less cluttered is always the way forward, is always the best. Less is more in design. Don't be bothered about the many things you want to put. Be more bothered about clarity, minimalism, and all that. Because the most important thing is you're trying to pass a message, and if you keep your design clean and simple, your users will get you at first glance. So that brings us to the end of this class. I'm going to leave everything for you on the channel, what you should design. Remember, you are allowed to go and look for another form. If your creative juices, if your creative juice is telling you, let me stretch this thing, please go ahead. Stretch it. Go and look for a form that is much more complicated than this. Bring it on. I'm up for the challenge, and I know you are too. So, for me, this is what at least I want to see as your assignment. But if you can go further, if you can push yourself further, that's what this is. This is what we're all about, trying to push you to be your best version. So, thank you very much. Thank you for this turnout. I'm really, really grateful, and I pray that we'll continue to keep this particular. Okay, sorry, I'm missing. Keza, you have a question? Oh, 3 questions, please. Let me.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, please. Let me hear you.
Good afternoon, ma. Thank you so much for the class. It's really an encouraging one, and I've been able to learn a lot. But during the practical section, I noticed that my control key is not working when I was trying to do the duplicates. So I want to know how else I can duplicate my work on this platform without using the shortcuts.
Okay, all right. I hope my Figma is still open. If you right click, let me quickly. Okay. If you right click on your elements, you select it first, right? Select, right click. If you go through the options that you have, you can do copy and paste as, or I thought I saw a duplicate. Okay. Sorry, let me be sure. I haven't gone through this in a while because I'm just used to doing Control D. So permit me to see, because I haven't visited this, hardly visit here. All right, anyway, you can copy and paste. Sorry, it's asking me. You can copy and paste. You understand? Copy and paste. It will let you that. Copy, paste, and then you can just do that as well. So that's the option that you could also use. Right click, left click option, copy, paste. You can do that as well. Okay, so there's another question. Babatunde, are you clear, Keziah?
Yes, sorry, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, you're welcome. Babatunde, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I'm just joining for today, so I want to be added to the channel.
Okay. I don't know if Lara is on this call.
Okay.
Is Lara on this call? I don't think so. Okay, I'll figure out how to do that for you. Usually the admin takes care of that, but I'm going to figure out how to do that for you. Thank you. Is there anybody else that wants to ask anything? Okay.
I've got a question, please. How do we submit the assignment to you? Is it a screenshot, or is there a way we can share a link?
You can, okay. Let me show you how to save your work as PDF on Figma real quick, so that you can easily drop it as a Figma file. Just make sure that as the title of your project is your name. Let the title of your project be your name. Okay, we didn't really do any. If you look up here, You see untitled. When you double click on it, you can rename it. So you can write Amina's form so that I know who has what Amina's form. So now when you do that and it's Amina's form, if you look at this share button right here, when you click on it, you can share a link with, no, I don't want you to share a link with me. I want a PDF file. Let me see. Why is it showing me the link? Oh, sorry, do not share me. No. Sorry. Let me find another way. This is not my page, this thing. It's like it's link people are going to share with me. I don't want link.
I think there's an
it's looking like
I'm seeing export.
Oh, sorry. My dear, that is it. I just remembered. My head is hot. I didn't need to spend so file. It's under file. When you click on file, when you go to your Figma logo on your left, right? Then you click on file, then you can export the frame. You know, you're going to use one more thing, you're going to use your mobile phone frame to do the designing so that it will look like I'm seeing like a page on a phone. We remember how to use our phone frame, right? Then we export the frame to PDF. It's going to come out as one frame that even when you look at it on your phone, you'll be very proud of yourself. Now let me do that. Let me pick the frame for you. On our frame option, right beside our move tool, when you click on the frame, it's displaying our frames, right? So it depends, whatever phone you want to use. Oh, we have so many options there. The iPhones, the Android, or let's keep it. Somebody's mic is on. Okay, thank you very much. Let's just have one look. Let's do iPhone 14 and 15 Pro. Let's just all go with iPhone 14 and 15 Pro. Let's use it as our frame so that we will all just when we pick that, we have our frame. Please, sorry, I didn't see you on time. Okay.
Yes, please. I wanted to ask that I've not been in the Discord. I've not been there, so I don't know how to go about it.
Okay. All right. Hannah, right? That's your name. Yes. Is there a reason you're not on Discord?
I tried to log in. They are not giving me access.
Okay. I'm going to find an alternative. Okay, let's see.
So I'm asking because of the assignments.
Yes, these assignments. You know, our Teams channel here. We have our channel where we can just do all our communications. I'm trying to see if we can attach the assignment here on the chat just to make it easy for everybody, but I don't know. Let me see. Nope. It's not looking like I can drop anything here. Okay, there's the other platform, our channel. Let me see if I can leave a message there for everybody to see. I'm going to figure it out. If that is the problem. I didn't hear you very well at first. Okay. Somebody's not letting you into the Discord channel.
Yes, I think so.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So that will be all really. If you remember anything after we've left the class, just leave it on the chat. I usually still go through the chats after the class. So Keziah, you have a question? Keziah, your hand is up.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I am asking how you were able to rename the Figma page to your name.
Okay. Let me go back real quick. When you go up to where it says Untitled, on top of your toolbar, if you double click it, it's going to highlight it for you like this, the way you're seeing my name right now. Let me click outside so that you see. I've clicked outside it, right? Now I'm going to click on it. Double tap, It's going to highlight everything for you. Then just start typing from your keyboard. Just start typing your name. Just start typing your name from the keyboard. And click enter. That's it. We're able to achieve that?
Thanks. Yeah, I am able to.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if we don't have any question, we can call it a day. Oh, okay. I'm seeing another hand. Augusta.
Yeah, good afternoon. I had a network problem when you were explaining how we are going to submit the assignments. Please, can you go over that again, please?
Okay, I was saying we can submit it on our channel, Discord channel. I'm not very sure about the Teams channel, if we can just all drop our assignments there, but the Discord channel I am sure of. You're on our Discord channel, right?
Yes, I am.
All right.
So after we save it as PDF, then we drop it there.
Yes, when you save it as PDF, drop it there. Just make sure you save the assignment with your name.
All right, thank you.
All right. So do we have more questions? Okay. In the absence of any question, I would like to call it a day, and I want you to have a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. I can't wait to see your assignments, and I can't wait to see you all next Saturday. So thank you very much.